Hey, what's up, guys? Colby and 412 here. Yo, what's up, guys? Colby and 412 here. Now, anyways, you guys wanted a shout out, so I've been giving a request line that. Now, I've been around in my comments as of late, and what's up, man? Now, for the live stream, last time I did a couple of live streams. First one I did of a reaction to the last SMO movie that took place in Washington, D.C. For the chef being the president's chef. While the second one I did was Q&A, and yet there were no questions answered. I mean, there were no questions there at the time being. So, anyways, this is the third live stream I'm giving you guys. And it was made by a request by one of my subscribers that says, hey, can you do a live stream for shoutouts? And I told him I'll see what I can do. So, here you go. This is the third live stream on shoutouts, so hey, anytime. And congratulations, you're first. On the other hand, though, what's up, man? Now, on the other hand, though, is that this is the live stream on the other hand that it's been going great. Hey, you're very welcome, man. You're very welcome. Now, this is a live stream, and if anyone has any questions before I start the shoutouts, start leaving me a question. I'll get to the answers. That's good to know. Hey, thanks, man. I'm glad you like the live stream. Now, on the other hand, though, is that this live stream is actually getting good so far. And do you like John Cena? Well, the answer to that is yes, because John Cena is my hero. And yet more importantly, though, John Cena taught me one thing in this life. The one thing, never give up. And that's the one thing I will never do. I've never given up on my life, on what I do. And I will never give up on anything. Even if it means going through your requests, going through anything. And going through a lot. Even if it means, if you guys have any request matches for Tuesday Night War, the Hardcore Wrestling Federation, I will be sure to get to that. And I promise you guys, I will make sure that your requests are in. And that's a promise I'm willing to keep. Now, does anyone have any other questions before I get to the shoutouts of this live stream? Okay, I'll take that as a no then. Then there's no more questions. So let's get to the shoutouts. The first shoutout goes to my friend Caden, who has been a friend of mine on Hangouts on the area of the website. And yet so many times, he did a lot of jokes, but so many times, I'm just going to have to say, he did a lot of funny videos. He did a great one. Okay, second shoutout. The second shoutout goes to the one who made the request on this very channel for the live stream. There you go. You deserve a shout out, my man. And more importantly, though, let's see what we got on our third shout out. The third shout out goes to Wrestling Fan 99. Who did a lot of great videos. But, on the other hand, though, our fourth shout-out. The fourth shout-out goes to none other than Cape Perch Sting, also known as Wrestling Figs. And yet, he did a lot of great videos on every wrestling review he's done, like Sting, The Undertaker, on his collection, to Roddy Piper, all the other stuff he's done. But yet, though, he did, just one time ago, he also did a review on one of my all-time favorite superstars, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And yeah, that was actually pretty good that he did that. And the other part is that it's been going great. Really great. Now, on the other hand, though, is that there's been a lot going on, and yet there's been a lot of things. Like, let's just say that I've been working on my latest 412 movie, but it's taking quite a while to get done, but it will. And yet, and I promise you this, guys, by the end of next month in November, you'll get a chance to see the all-new Tuesday Night War intro and the all-new Hardcore Wrestling Federation intro for 2018. Well, The Undertaker from the Grave is actually one of those greatest moments that The Undertaker has done, where he grabbed his hand out of the grave, and he's done a lot in the business. But my all-time favorite Undertaker moment would happen to be back when it was the year 2000, yet Triple H had the upper hand on The Rock when DX was around. That was until Undertaker transformed into the American Badass. Well, that's good to know. Plus, on the other hand, though, is that my other favorite Undertaker moment was when the Undertaker was doing a lot in the business, but that was until the very day that the Undertaker had pulled off one big moment that I never got over. It was when I was at a WWE Live event. I mean, it was when SmackDown came in to Chicago. I went to see The Undertaker, and I was cheering on The Undertaker. But my favorite Undertaker moment was when CM Punk defeated Matt Hardy, but that was until when the lights went out. When they came back on, The Undertaker had the belt in his hands. And it was one of the greatest moments when he had the World Heavyweight title in his hands when SmackDown came to Rockford. That was the greatest moment I would never forget. And on the other hand, though, is that there's a lot going on, and yet the 412 movie, the origin of how Colt 412's got his powers, could take a while, and yet I'm still expecting one more thing off my to-do list, just one more thing. But it will be done eventually when it gets there. But on the other hand, though, the greater news is that we are a few more days away from Tuesday Night War's biggest event on Friday, the Fright of October Halloween Special, TNW. And the other greater thing is that so far is that TNW Fright of October has a lot of great matches. Like last year's Fright of October was the 6-man Battle Royal where the loser had to wear his costume until Thanksgiving Massacre. The very first one was Finn the Human, on the other hand. But that was until things changed up a bit. But on the other hand, there's a lot going on. Plus, at this year's Fright of October 6-man Battle Royal, it's going to be a lot more different and a lot more better. But yet, though, there's a lot going on. And yet the 6-man Battle Royal will be huge. because, well, more importantly though, is that there's Super Mario Logan involved in the Battle Royal, there's Mr. Goodman, Bowser Jr., even FSW's Juniors Division own Joey Taylor, the same kid that grabbed Colt 412 by the shirt. And yet Trev Phelps will be involved in the Battle Royal along with the Wampus. But on the other hand though, this year's Battle Royal is going to be big. But on the other hand though, the Battle Royal is going to be big, very big, because, well, that the Divas division is going to get a chance to be in the Battle Royal because there's the Dollcat World Order, there's Dollcat, there's, actually she is pronounced Heel Wife, there's Cat Charisma, there's Pan from Dragon Ball GT who's going to be involved in the Battle Royal. But on the other side is Nia Jax, who will be from the HWF competing in the Battle Royal, to Becky Lynch. And the final competitor is Carmella, who will be involved in the Divas Division Battle Royal. But on the other hand, though, have you everyone been to a WWE game? Well, that's a good question. I don't know about that, but it could take a while. Maybe, I have no idea, but on the other hand, though, is that I've done a lot of creating customizable superstars of last year's show, but it took me a while to get it done. I would have to do what I can and yet change things up a bit. And on the other hand, though, is that, I mean, there's a lot going on, plus, on the other hand, though, is that things are huge, plus things are great, and yet there's just a lot going on as it is. Does anyone have any questions for me? Anything at all? Because, well, this is a live stream, and yet I would like to go through everyone's questions. If anyone has any more questions. Because, well, on the other hand, all I know is that next month in November, if anyone has remembered one big event, one big video that YouTube has shown so many times, like, why did you start a YouTube channel? Well, that's a good question. I know that everyone's been asking me this. Why did I start my YouTube channel to begin with? And when did I begin? Well, it all started in 2014 when I first started YouTube. I did a lot of things when I was recording videos. Like, I did the elbow drop off a diving board into a swimming pool. Yet, my brother did his stunts in the videos. And yet, ever since I've seen YouTube when I was still living in Chicago, it was a great way to start off things. I mean, my first favorite YouTube video was when I saw a video game battle with Stone Cold Steve Austin. What do you like about your channel? Well, before I answer that question, I have one favorite YouTube video that I like to announce, is that it was the video game battle where it was one time this guy on YouTube did a video game battle where it was Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock versus Homer Simpson and Krusty the Clown. Well, the main reason why is because that's the reason why Tuesday Night War is born, for a reason. Hashtag new subscriber. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the channel. And I promise you this, you will get a subscriber back, guaranteed. Plus, that was the main reason why Tuesday Night War was born to begin with, because it was, well, you're very welcome. And on the other hand, though, is that Tuesday Night War was born ever since 2012, but the very first match is that it was a big deal because the very first match, the Hardcore Wrestling Federation was born because Dakota was the hardcore champion. And he says you're an awesome YouTuber. Oh, thank you. Tell him I said thank you so much. Plus, I know now the question is that people are asking me right now on the live stream, what do you like about your YouTube channel? Well, the one thing I like about it is that the problem is that my favorite YouTube channel, the one thing I like about my channel is that it's a random channel where you get to see a lot of things like movie quotes, wrestling videos, and of course the main thing about this channel, the 412 movies, where everything is a great deal. Plus, on the other hand, though, is that the greater thing is that so far, Tuesday Night War and the Hardcore Wrestling Federation are having a bit of competition because, well, Tuesday Night War has won 3 matches against the Hardcore Wrestling Federation, while the Hardcore Wrestling Federation has won 2 of them so far. And on the other hand, though, it was huge. But I'm going to announce what's going to happen next month in November for Tuesday Night War's Thanksgiving Massacre Special, the Thanksgiving Special by the name of Tuesday Night War Thanksgiving Massacre. The greater thing is that Tuesday Night War's Thanksgiving Massacre, where all the titles will not be on the line because, so I was saying that knowing all the titles will not be on the line because the HWF and TNW are going to go at it by separate matches, like Tuesday Night War's superstars against the HWF superstars, like the Hardcore Wrestling Federation. Now, as I was saying, though, is that the Hardcore Wrestling Federation is that it's a great deal because it's a lot of hardcore, it's a lot of great matches, but knowing Tuesday Night War has its other side, like championship opportunities, greatest superstars in the business, and yet there's a lot going on. I like Cole Behan, and I watch him all the time. Oh, thank you so much, man. That's really nice. It's very nice of you to say. Now, on the other hand, is that on the other hand, in November, there will be a great match. As I've been around YouTube so many times, there's this battle between Voltron and the Power Rangers because, well, disappointing enough, Voltron defeats the Power Rangers 2 times from separate YouTube channels like Death Battle, 1 Minute Melee. But disappointing enough, they forgot about the Megazord's upgraded battle techniques, like the Dragon Zord and Titanus. But the greater thing is that at Thanksgiving Massacre, I had an idea for the best match for everyone to see. Team Voltron versus Team Power Rangers in separate matches. Like from the boys' side, they got the other side of the boys. But the princess from Voltron is going to have a separate match with the Pink and Yellow Ranger, which will be super awesome. What are you going to be for Halloween? Well, that's a good question. Before I answer that, I'm going to continue on what the matchup's going to be because the princess from Voltron is going to have 2 mystery partners on her side against the Pink and Yellow Ranger while they team up with the NXT Women's Champion, Desiree. Now, I'm going to answer the question right now that you gave. What am I going to be for Halloween? That's a good question. Now, I've been a lot of things on Halloween, like sometimes I was Freddy Krueger, I was Jason Voorhees, I was the Crow played by Brandon Lee, Terminator. I'll say I was everything so far, but not really. And yet I was dressed like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Are you going to do like a special Halloween event? Well, yeah, I'm going to do that, but for Fright of October, that's one of them. And the latest 412 movie will be the Halloween special on my 412 movie. And the 412 movie Halloween special will be there this Halloween. And yet, the greater news is that so far, on the other hand, what I'm going to be for Halloween this year is an old school scary movie character from 1989 by the name of Shocker. By the name of Horace Panker from Shocker, because, well, it might turn out very great this year, but anyways, there's a lot going on, but yet everything's been going great. And yet, the greater news is that so far, on the other hand, is that there's a lot going on, and yet there's a lot of news going around, is that Super Mario Logan is still working on, Super Mario Logan is still working on the SML movie. I know everyone is asking around the world, even me, for example, where's this SML movie? Will it come out? Because that's one thing that I'm worried about, is that will we see this Super Mario Logan movie? Because it's taken a while to get done, but I'm not complaining or anything. It's not like I'm complaining. It's taken a while to get done. I mean, it could get done eventually by the time being. But on the other hand, though, is that there's a lot going on. And yet, I mean, heck, I don't even know what's next. I mean, last SML episode that Logan did was Friday the 13th, knowing it was last Friday. I was surprised. But yet I was very surprised to see that, like, where it looked like Jason Voorhees coming out of the lake, but it was someone else, someone different. But the funniest thing is the character was wearing floaties. But that was actually pretty good. I just never knew that would happen until now. Anyways, on the other hand, though, is that everything's been going great. Now, let's get into some YouTuber shoutouts before I answer any more questions. First YouTuber shoutout goes to Grimm's Toy Show, because, well, Grimm did a lot of great matches in his time, like the Mailman, and yet MJ Appleballs, where I was supposed to help out Grimm on the situation, but DG told me that he had it under control. But it was disappointing. I didn't like MJ to begin with because he looked like Deadpool. But on the other hand, though, I've been trying to join DF to begin with, but on Twitter, Grimm says I'm in DF. But I was really glad that I'm in, because I'm trying to I'm trying to be a part of DF for my initiation. One match I had in mind was against Joe Wolf. And yet, sadly enough, he's been disrespecting me on Twitter as of late. But anyways, let's get to the next YouTuber shoutout. The second YouTuber shoutout goes to Burnout Inc. from PPW, Burnout Inc. Pro Wrestling, who did a lot of great stop-motion matchups, like Chase Arcade's match, where it was Sami Zayn versus Edge for the BPW Canadian United States Championship until, well, the end of that episode, it was a great moment, because Chase did dedicate this match to one person in particular, was Glenn Webb, who I believe was a great YouTuber who revealed a lot of great action figures, who did a custom of CM Punk from his UFC ring attire, but for Glenn Webb right now, rest in peace. But anyways, all I know is that so far is that Burnout Inc. did a lot of great reviews and action figure hunts, like M. Bison. Oh, come on, Bison. At least give Chase a break, because you did a lot of things to Chase. I don't even know what's next. What are you going to do to him now? Probably give him more M. Bison dollars? No, that ain't going to work. Okay, enough of that. But the third YouTuber shoutout goes to Captain McKay Random, who did a lot of great videos, like CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at JWF One Night Stand, but actually was called Collision. where it was JWF Collision, where it was CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. But that was a great matchup between that video, because no matter what the odds were, I was rooting on Stone Cold Steve Austin all the way. But all I know is that it was a great battle between those two. Now, the fourth and final YouTuber shout out, actually, there's two more ahead, like 2 more to go. The fourth one goes to Big Boy Lance Smith, who just did a super awesome hardcore match between Dean Ambrose and Cactus Jack. But Cactus Jack was a great legend, a hardcore legend in his own rights, because no matter what he did, my favorite Cactus Jack moment was when it was Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack versus the New Age Outlaws in the first ever dumpster match at WrestleMania 14. Now, that match was brutal between those two, but it was an all-out war for the tag team titles. That was until Cactus and Chainsaw won that match, but that was a great war when it took Terry Funk to drive the forklift. But that was an actual war between those two. But Big Boy Lance Smith pulled out all the stops in stop motion for the wide world of wrestling, even if it took either Macho Man Randy Savage taking out Booker T, to that Royal Rumble match he made where the Clique did a lot of great matches and a lot of things. And yet, do you like streaming? If that's what you're asking me, but I'll get to that question in just a minute. I just got one more shout out to do and I'll answer that. So, on the other hand though, is that Lance Smith did a lot of great stop motion battles in his time. Like Grand Slam was the big one. And be honest. Oh, I will, but Grand Slam 2 was the big event. It was Big Boy Lance Smith. Hey, Mania Animation, how you doing, man? But on the other hand, though, is that Big Boy Lance Smith pulled out all the stops to put on the big matchup, in particular at Grand Slam 2. It was Big Boy Lance Smith versus Vince McMahon, but that was a big matchup, and yet Lance Smith pulled out all the stops to win. That was awesome. Now, the fifth and final YouTuber shout-out goes to DGDX Animation. Because DGDX Animation tried his best to do what he can. Because he did a lot of great NYX wrestling videos, like Sting versus Shawn Michaels, which I'm showing a lot of support for. And yet, all it needs is 3,000 likes, and if it gets there, everyone's going to see one match in particular that I can't wait to see. CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan for the NYX Wrestling Championship. And yet, that was the final and fifth YouTuber shout-out. So right now, I'm going to answer your question. Do you like streaming? Well, to be honest though, streaming is something I never done before until a few years ago. A few years ago, actually, when I first started. But live streaming was actually a great deal because Captain McKay Random does it. DG did it a couple of times. But in the end, though, live streaming was huge. So I thought maybe if I tried a live stream of my own, where I did like a live stream reaction video, where I did one where the live streaming reaction video was where it was when I was reacting, like I pointed out, I was reacting to the SML movie where Chef Pee Pee became the president's chef, because that was awesome. It made me laugh so hard. Except the intro was like, Wimpy, the whipped cream man, he's always covered in Wimpy. He was like, Junior, what the heck are you doing? He's like, I'm making a whipped cream snowman. Like, no, you're not. You're making a mess. But on the other hand, though, is that my second shout-out, my second live stream I pointed out earlier was Q&A, but disappointing enough, like I pointed out earlier, that no one didn't answer my questions. But in the end, though, I tried my best. I quit it live streaming for a while, but now these days, it's just great to see everyone here answering my question. It's just great everyone here leaving me questions, showing a lot of support for this live stream today. I want to thank you all so much for coming here. But on the other hand, though, does anyone have any questions, anything at all, before I give out any more updates on what's going to happen in 2018? Because I think it's time that I start answering more questions. But if anyone doesn't have any more questions, it's okay. But I'll answer them eventually. But on the other hand, though, 2018 is a big year because it's going to be a new year so far, because as soon as December comes, there probably might be another 412 movie Christmas special taking place in Phoenix, Arizona again, but except this time Bowser Jr. might come along. But last year's Christmas special was where Bowser Jr. had been to Norwich, England with Paige at the time being, but there's a lot going on. And, But the greater news is, so far, is that, I mean, there's a lot going on, and yet the news is that the 412 movie Christmas special might take place in Arizona again, but this time Bowser Jr. might come along for the ride, even with his family. And yet, on the other hand, though, it's been great. It's been really great. A great year so far. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this third live stream, you guys. If anyone has any more questions or anything, leave me a comment on the area below. And yet, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. And be sure to give Sting versus Shawn Michaels a big thumbs up on DGDX Animation. And guys, remember, the more you give Sting versus Shawn Michaels a big thumbs up on DGDX Animation, the more you're going to see CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan for the NYX Wrestling Championship. Thank you so much for watching this live stream, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And be sure to tell DG, Grimm's Toy Show, and my friend Caden, I said, what's up? So, you want me to answer one more question before I go? How old am I? Okay, I'll answer it. I am 21 years old, and yet I have autism. I am 21 years old, but yet I have autism. But on the other hand, though, I was born with I had autism since I was very young in Chicago, but I am 21 years old. Yet I have autism. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. And be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. And be sure to give Sting versus Shawn Michaels a big thumbs up on DGDX Animation. And guys, remember, the more you give Sting versus Shawn Michaels a big thumbs up on DGDX Animation, and plus, the more you do, the more you're going to see CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan for the NYX Wrestling Championship. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. You're a good YouTuber. Oh, thank you so much. That's a really support. That's a really good hand. Thank you so much. And right now, guys, I'm signing off the live stream, and be sure to tell DG, Grimm's Toy Show, and my friend Caden, I said, what's up?